Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back for another Genshin Impact video. Today is one that's close to my heart. It's special. We're going to be talking about your girl, Sucrose. She's the nerd. She is fine. She strips people of their defenses, and she's amazing. So we're going to go over exactly how her skills work, how her ults work, passives, all that stuff. And just get a little feel for her, see if you want to, if you're reaching for her, if you're pulling for her. Hopefully it'll help you out. So let's go. Let's get into it. What's up, dudes? We're over here with the girl Sucrose. So first off, she talked with, she is an Anemo mage, surprisingly, which is awesome. So the cool thing about Anemo is it doesn't really have its own thing. It does swirl reactions, right? So if you're unfamiliar with swirl, basically it just amplifies the damage for the element that it swirled, right? And that's it. It's pretty great. It'll usually, depending on how long it's out, it will take effect of the element. So if it's fire, you'll make like a fire tornado, like if you use the Traveler, or ice, you know, or water, or electric, whatever. It just fuses with that, and it'll become that for a little while. So it's kind of like a jack of all trades element. And Sucrose here is it's pretty awesome. So she kind of just her E, she throws out a little butterfly thing. does some crazy damage actually for being so short. So let's go over that in a little bit more detail. Her normal attack's pretty basic, just some mage crap, just boop boop boop, deal some wind damage, right? Her E, now this is what I just showed, that shows that little AoE. It knocks people up in the air, so great for when you're trying to like rush people. You can just knock them over and beat the hell out of them. My current skill damage is level 6, so it does 296% of my attack. Cooldown is relatively long. This gets better in her constellations if you have more of her, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. Her Q, on the other hand, now it throws a pretty similar AoE, much like her E, except it lasts for a long time, and it has what it like to call elemental absorption. So this is what I was talking about earlier. It'll absorb whatever element that's currently affected by the enemy. So if it's affected by Hydro, it'll become a water. If it's a fire, you know, whatever element you prime it with, it will then become that, right? Kind of gets tricky when it's multiple units. So if it's like you're fighting like electro slimes or fire slimes, it's kind of just gonna pick one, and you have to hope it's gonna be with the one that you wanted. But it's really good. It kind of just knocks him in the air for a long time. It's kind of like a little baby Venti, which is pretty dope. Mine's level 4. Does the damage over time, the ticks, the boom, you know, it does it like 3 times, 4 times for 185%. Lasts about 6 seconds. Cooldown's relatively long. The energy cost is pretty long, which does not, it's not great. it's not great, but you can definitely fix this with some energy recharge, which we'll go over in the build recommendation. So her talent when you unlock to 20 to 40 is when she triggers a swirl, it increases all your party members' elemental mastery for 50. So just the base amount, no matter what it is boom, 50 more elemental mastery. It's pretty good. It's not the best. It gets a lot better with her 60 to 70, which she says when she hits people with her E or Q, all party members gain elemental mastery, which is 20% of whatever Sucrose's elemental mastery is for 8 seconds. Now that's where she gets real busted real quick. So basically what I currently have for her is I have 300, pretty much 300 elemental mastery. So 20% of that, every time I do my E or Q, just gets thrown to everybody else on the team, and we'll showcase that here in a little while. And it's nuts. So you don't even have to focus elementary mastery anymore. Like Child, who I'm going to use in the demonstration of this, doesn't have any elemental mastery, right? So he's going to just get 20% base just straight up. His reactions are going to be better. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. He's gonna vaporize like a fool. So yeah, that's a really good talent. Constellations. Now this is where she gets absolutely bonkers, guys. So her first constellation, she gets 2 E's. So I just did the one. She gets 2 charges. You can E, wait a little bit, E, or you can do them both right straight smash for like 3k each. Boom boom. You know, whatever you want to do. Her second one increases the duration of her E by 2 additional seconds, or Q by additional seconds. That's awesome. The longer it's out, the better, right? Makes that cooldown a little less worse. The 3 and 5 obviously is a talent upgrade we go over all the time. 4 is where it every 7 normal charged attacks, which you don't really have Sucrose out for very hard. It's long, so it's not going to be that great. But it reduces her cooldown. So if you're really needing to get her cooldown like real hard, like you're like, I need to group these enemies up real hard, then yeah, it'll reduce the cooldown by 7 seconds. So that's fantastic. And her 6th constellation is where her Q will actually, when it does trigger an elemental absorption, all party members gain 20%. 20% elemental damage bonus for the corresponding absorbed element during its rotation. So say you prime him with water, it queues up, you smash him, hit him with the Q, and it makes a water. Now all your characters that have water elemental damage just boom, 20% better. Like straight up. Busted, dude. Busted. I'm telling you. It's too good. It's too good. So the artifacts that I have on her, this is where she gets real crazy. This is where Anemo characters just start going off. I think the only set that she's good with, I mean, she can use other ones, but I think the preferred is Viridescent. Full Viridescent for sure. It increases your Anemo damage by 15%. Pog. It increases your swirl damage by 60%. Pog. It decreases the opponent's elemental resistance to the element that was infused in the swirl by 40%. Guys, 40%? You just straight damage, just taking it off 40% for 10 seconds. That's ridiculous, dude. That is straight nuts. And it is a swirl, so it can be your normal attack. You don't have to do an E. You don't have to do your Q. You just straight up hit them with a normal, just basic bitch. Do a swirl, reduce their water resistance or whatever by 40%, and then let Child just go ham. Just let him unleash absolute murdering hell upon anyone. And we're going to pair this with Xing Chu, who also reduces enemies' water resistance by 15%. So it's just going to get crazy. It's going to get real crazy. So let's go over like substats or main stats and substats for the artifact so we can talk about that. So I think the best in slot for her by far is Elemental Mastery and Energy Recharge. After that, whatever, dude. I think crit damage, crit rate, obviously, but Elemental Mastery is too valuable on her specifically. Which is why I go over, I actually have an Elemental Mastery piece to give her even more Elemental Mastery, because that's all she's for. She gives my team Elemental Mastery, she buffs their reaction damage, and she just makes everybody that much better, you know? So my substats aren't super amazing. I do have a few 5 stars, so that's cool, but for the most part, they're not great. They're only leveled like 12s max. So just keep that in mind when we're showcasing her later. So yeah, attack percent's not bad. It's always good. So basically what I have going on is I have Elemental Mastery, Anemo damage bonus. Substats are crap, but Anemo damage bonus, I think that's a must. And then I just have an attack percent here to give her a little bit extra buff. If you want to do, you know, a crit rate or a crit damage here, I think that would be okay if you have an attack percent time piece instead. You know, it's up to you. I just think that having her that Elemental Mastery piece, because you get those all the time and you never use them, so you might as well throw it on Sucrose, because she's gonna get the most benefit, the most bang for your buck. So I definitely recommend that. Substats, as I said, Elemental Mastery, Energy Recharge, crit rate, crit damage, and then, you know, the sky's the limit, guys, for real. Weapons. Now, I don't think this is her best in slot, the Mappa Mare, but it's real good. It's real good. So the Mappa Mare has Elemental Mastery as her substat. Pog. That's literally the only reason. And triggers an element whenever you're triggering an elemental reaction, which is her swirl, right? It gives you a 10% elemental damage bonus for 10 seconds. Now, unfortunately, since I don't have Constellation 1, it's not that great. So it's going to buff her normal attacks. Not great. Or if you do a normal attack and then into your Q, cool, right? But if you have her Constellation 1, you get 2 charges of this, of her E. So you can do her E, get the buff for 10% or 20% or whatever, max refine, whatever you have, and then just do your other E immediately afterwards to get that damage bonus, and then boom, like it's going off. You're hitting 5k, you're hitting 6k, whatever. You're doing crazy stuff just on this basic, slept on. Nobody uses Sucrose ever. Everyone's like, Venti. Like, Sucrose is pog as hell. Like, she's pog as shit. She's amazing. And we're gonna, okay, so after we got over that, like, look at me, like, my stats are pretty crap. She's level 70. Her attack's pretty low. Her HP's pretty low. But her Elemental Mastery is 300. I don't have any other stats. Like, Energy Recharge is pretty crap. I have 2 waters, so my you know, healing bonus, but all I have is like, I have an Anemo damage bonus, and I got some energy recharge, or some elemental mastery. That's it. That's all we have. Basically, everything else is crap. And we're going to showcase it against the big one, the big boy. So let's get in it. Let's do it. Let's see what we can handle. So let's just start out with Sucrose by herself first. So we'll start that. You know, she's not doing a lot. You know, it's about 500, 300. Nothing crazy. Doing E. 2k. That's not bad. She gets a lot of energy back when she does her ability. Yeah, now she does a little bit more damage from that buff, right? So yeah, super great. So normally what I like to do is I like to prime them, hit him with my stat, and you'll see the swirl, right? Boop, see the swirl? It did water damage from that. That's what you want. That's literally the only reason that that she exists. So we print him with water, right? Now we're gonna go ahead and get my Q back right here. Maybe we can go ahead and hit him with some water right here. So look, we got some water. And then boom, he's going to get infused with water now. Or he should. Oh, he's not going to. He didn't get it, no! But yeah, so whoop. So he's infused with water. Get the water resistance, and then boom. So we're just shredding his resistance to water right now. Like, his water is just... He can't take it. He can't do nothing. There's nothing he can do. Switch to get the swirl. Do my ult. Boink! Only 6k. My child's not leveled up very much, but you get what I'm showing off here, right? She's just I froze that guy in midair, but so basically, you just want to prime him, and then hit him with your stuff to get the swirl, and then the damage reduction just keeps coming rolling in, man. The damage reduction is just you're just stripping them. You're just stripping them. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's like she's worth. You know, she's crazy, and against one of these guys, you know, like that's just you can even do his Q, and then just sit there and swirl damage him to death, right? Like the swirl's going off, the water blades are coming in, like she's just doing so much work for your team. All right, so I know that big guy was a little much, a lot going on. Let's go ahead and showcase it here on these little guys. They're a lot easier to mess around with. So they get on their things, you just boop. Get off your high horse, bro, and just knock him down. So what you're going to see here is I'm going to prime this guy with water. I'm going to throw my ult down. And let's just see. So we saw a child. He has 0 elemental mastery. Now he has 60. It's not a lot. With that little bit of 60 buffs his vaporized damage by 10%. Hey, that's cool. Along with the 40% resistance to water that you're shredding, the 15% water resistance you're shredding from Xingqiu or Xingqiu. I mean, it's just gonna stack, and it's gonna stack, and it's gonna stack, and then boom, you're sitting here doing ridiculous amounts of damage for literally for free. You know what I'm like? So see, it grabbed the water right there. Well, I mean, it grabbed the water. But yeah, I mean, now you have their water resistance is shredded. You just straight mess them up. You just kill them. You just murder them all. And that's Sucrose. That's what she does. She just sits there and does damage. She just sits there, buffs your team, and then shreds all their resistance. That's what she does. But yeah, that's it. That's basically all I have. All right, so that's everything, guys. That's Sucrose in a nutshell. I know she's really not very complicated. She's a little easy to understand. You basically just use her swirl, and you switch out. You know, that's basically it. If you have more constellations than me, which I don't have any, then it just goes up from there. It just starts stacking. She starts getting really good. She's definitely worth it if you're free to play, for sure. If you're non-free to play, if you're a whale and you don't have Venti, great. If you have Venti, I still think she's a really good option. Venti's probably better, but he's a 5-star, so we'll give her some slack on that. But yeah, that's basically all I have for you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe if you like the content. Don't forget to be here for the next video this week, which is probably going to be showcasing a little bit how to get artifacts. I've been having some questions about that. We're going to figure out how to get to artifacts, where they drop, what are the best ones to get, how to get gladiators, exile sets, stuff like that that's not in a domain. So yeah, we're going to go over all that here pretty soon. And again, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.